written letters to my daughters. Letters to my daughter. Kindly, before we go further, kindly share us more of you. Who is Hilda?
So good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here this morning to talk to all of you, to share with you who I am. My name is Hilda Ocan. I am married to Ben Ocan. I am Tanzanian. I was born in Tanzania. I am a mother. I am a daughter. I have children, girls and boys. I work, I'm a team leader. I work with a ministry called Equipping Women International. I have a passion for women. I love God. I'm a born-again Christian. I love praying. I think that's about it.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful, Hilda. You've just mentioned something that you're born in Tanzania. How did you end up in Uganda?
Oh, wow. So when I was in campus, I met this wonderful man. He's a preacher of the word. He was studying engineering at that particular time. His name is Ben Ocan. He's a man who comes from the north. He's an Acholi. And so we fell in love. And as the story goes, we got married in Tanzania. And he had to come back to Uganda because this was his country. So as the book of Ruth says, your people be my people, where you go, I will also go. And so I moved and I came with him here to Uganda. And I have been here in Uganda for the last, Pastor Renson, 27 years. Wow. I have been cooking for the last 27 years. Uganda is now my home. I think I'm more Ugandan than Tanzanian now. I have lived here for quite a long time. I have family here. I have friends here. I have a beautiful family in Gaba Church. This is where God has planted us.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I must give it up for the Ugandan man who really took you away. He must be a very, very sharp man. And congratulations to him.
Thank you.
So Hilda, what do you love about being a woman?
What a question. First of all, I am a woman. What is there not to love about being a woman? This is who we are. I believe women are beautiful. God expresses his beauty through us women. And you see that in the way we are, the way God has made us. And we also express that beauty maybe in the clothes that we wear, the different style of clothes that we wear. The different kind of bags we match with our clothes, the shoes that we put on. Women love shoes. Not only that, we are caring people. Women are naturals. We are caring. We are sensitive. Every woman can multitask. We can do many, many things at the same time. And God has placed inside every woman this ability, this intuitive, what the world called an intuitive ability. We have this ability to just discern and see things. When I was young, I was a tomboy when I was young and when I was growing up. And for me, I was scared of becoming a woman, but along the way, I learned to embrace who I am. And it's a joy to be a woman. We are naturals. What a privilege it is when God brings us from just being a woman to a mother, and we're able to bring up our children and raise up a generation. So women are beautiful people.
Wow. You know, the way you speak about women, you make me feel jealous. And I begin to ask some questions that I cannot make them in public, but I like your description, the way you describe a woman. And then you just mentioned earlier on that you lead an organization called Equipping Women International. Why are you particularly interested in supporting women?
Wow. Again, I would say supporting women is just me plugging in into the plan that God has. I believe women are in the heart of God, and I'm not saying men are not, but women are in the heart of God. God has this plan and desire to see women coming up, women fulfilling their purpose, first of all, knowing who they are in Christ. We're a Christian organization, so seeing women coming up and knowing who they are in Christ, and then rising up irrespective of their background and beginning to realize their potential, their ability, their purposes. And then not only that, beginning to live life in all its fullness, coming up and beginning to realize and becoming what God has desired them to be. And specifically, when I come back to Equipping Women International, by God's grace, God enabled us this year to work with young girls. We moved around in schools. We're working with secondary school girls from S1 to S6. And we plugged into working with young girls. As you all know, during COVID, there was a lot of that 2 year of idleness. We saw a lot of young girls getting pregnant. And so when the schools opened, there was a high rate of girls that dropped out of school because of pregnancy, because of early marriages. And just girls lost their sense of direction and purpose and focus. And so we started going to schools, knocking in schools and telling girls to stay in schools. We centered on girl education, and we asked girls to stay in school, to focus and be in school, to take responsibilities over their lives, to go back and just realize who they are and the true value that they have, who they are, what is their true value. And when you do that and you focus a young girl in education, or when you work on the transformation of women, the impact is also big, because a girl who stays in school, finishes her education, gets married at the right time, that girl can take care of her family well. And so the impact of transformation in women, which I believe is in the heart of God, when a woman is transformed, it affects not only her, but it also goes, she becomes a better mother. You have a better wife. Wow. She becomes a better mother. And that not only affects her, it also affects the family. She'll take care of her children very, very well. She'll raise them very, very well. It affects the church. And the impact just continues. It goes on to affect the nation. It affects a society, a nation, and it affects a generation. And so working with women is really plugging into that God's plan, where you're changing generations through women because of who they are and their pillar in families and in society.
Wow, wow, wow. You're really passionate for the women. I can see that. And you're causing women in this platform. One is saying it is a joy to be a woman, they are beautiful, expressive, creative, caring. Wow, wow, wow. That women are in the heart of God. I'm wondering what's happening to men. So you tell us one thing. What are some of the things you wish men would know about a woman?
Okay, what a question. I think first of all, I'd like to say men should know that we love them, and we love them, we support them, we want them to succeed. There is no woman who, if God has put a man in her life, who doesn't want that man to succeed, who doesn't want to say, yeah, that is my man up there. Maybe he's a mechanic, he works in a certain garage, or he's a builder, or he's a banker, that guy there in a suit, that is my man. So we love our men, and we want them to succeed, and we are behind them. We want them to support. We want them to fulfill their purposes and the visions that they have. And then another thing is, I would want to say men should learn to listen to us. Women will love being listened to, and that can just begin with just a small conversation of you coming back home and asking me, for example, Hilda, how was your day? When you ask me how was your day, you're opening me up to be able to tell you about my day, how my day was, how things went around me. You're opening me up to talk, express my emotions. Even if I'm a stay-home mom and I'm able to tell you the stories around my home, whether the dog breaks out of the kennel, but I'm opening up and I'm talking to you, and there is communication and there is bonding. So listening to us in the small things, and not only in those small things that you're listening and building communication, but the listening should also go to the bigger things in life. As I said before, women were intuitive. We have just this discerning ability. And because we love you and we care for you, we can come and say, honey, I think let us not put money in that particular land, or let us just not go for that particular investment. Yeah. Now, many a times it takes time for a man to listen. And when you don't listen and then the investment doesn't work out, and then you come back and you say, we lost that money and the investment did not work out. It takes God for us to keep silence and say, okay, and a lot of God's wisdom that it will work out next time. It will be better next time. And that investment and that money, that particular money is gone. And so we are there to support you. So if only men can listen to us when we are talking, the things we are saying and the things we are not saying. When we drop in the ditch, we drop together and then we rise up together, and we believe next time you will listen to us. And so we love to be listened to.
I hope men are listening to you, and men like listening to big things, the small things of a dog ran away, a cat just poured the milk. Sometimes men find it difficult to listen, but it's good to learn that the women love their men and they want them to succeed, and I think we would learn to listen to them as much as possible. But let me come back to this other thing. What inspired you to write the book Letters to My Daughters?
Wow. Letters to My Daughter is a book. It's a book about my life. It's a book about my journey. I'm going to try and shorten it, really. I was brought up as in a broken home. And so my mama was not there when I was growing up. And so I missed out in a lot of teachings that I could have gotten from my mom, whether it's to cook, whether it's to teach me about life, just guidances that I would have gotten from my mom. And so I got them from other people around. I'd always be busy trying to figure out things by my own. Fast forward, I get married, and now I become a mother along the way. And I came to my marriage with a lot of brokenness, with the things that I had not learned. And so I am a mother now. I was not really mothered. And so I have to learn on job. I make a lot of mistakes along the way. I didn't at that particular time know that I needed an older woman or maybe a mentor in my life who could, if I had one, a mentor, an older woman in my life, I would have done things different. I would have made many of my decisions in a different way. I would have maybe thought my things through differently. And so I now mother my daughter. I do a lot of mistakes along the way. But God, by his grace, he just brings people around me. I remember one of them was my sister who came, my sister who follows me. And she was like, Hilda, you and Abby, you're so distant. You're not relating very well. And I could see it, but I didn't really know, now how do I remedy this? One of the things that really helped me was I got born again at early age, at 16, when I was still in secondary school, in high school. And so at least for me, that one helped me to get married to a godly man who admired Ben. And of course, in Christ Jesus begins to work in you, and he molds you and begins to change you to become a better person. But as I was bringing up my daughter Abby, I just realized there is so many things that, because of the gap that I had in parenting, that I didn't do right. And so God, by his grace, began to show me these limitations, these mistakes that I had made with Abby in parenting her. And God gave me this opportunity of being able to write this book. Some of it I couldn't talk because I didn't have a mother who I talked to. And so it was difficult for me to talk to my daughter. And so by me writing the book, I was able to use these letters to talk to her and to speak to her very, very fundamental issues, decisions that she was making in life. I realized, oh, she has already grown up and she's stepping out there and she's going to have to make major decisions in her life. By the time I started writing letters to my daughter was now she had gone to campus. And so I needed to talk to her about major decisions in life to guide her.
If I may chip in there, what is this that relationship between you and your daughter, that fueled the writing of this book?
So I noticed Abby has grown up and I'm realizing she's now a mature woman. She's stepping out there. She's going to campus and she's going to face relationship. You're maybe going to deal with things, for example, sex. She's living in a campus. She's stepping outside there in the world. In the room that she's going to be in campus, she's going to be sharing rooms with other people. In the world out there, in their generation, they've legalized sex. Maybe you can have sex, you can have one night stand, you can be in a relationship and you can have sex. And these are conversations that I needed to have with her. Also for her to understand values, the godly values, and how to, for example, apply the principles of God as far as sex is concerned. And of course, at her life in campus, she needs to, this is the time when she's beginning to have men approaching her. And so she needs to have guidance, for example, how do you pick the right person in a relationship? Not only that, how do you know this is the right person in the relationship? What are those things that will guide you to understand this is the right person in my relationship? And so I wrote letters to my daughter to be able to use it, not only for Abby, but for every woman and girl outside there. They can use it as a tool to guide them because it's a guiding, and mothers can also use it. If you're having issues and you have things you have never talked to your daughter about, you can use it to be able to talk to your daughter about decisions, guiding them in decisions, in the way you parent them, being able to express love to them, discuss fundamental issues in their lives and to guide them in the decision making so that they may become better women and godly in their lives.
Let me ask you this for you with your daughter. Are there differences between you and your daughter, the way you do things, and what lessons can parents learn?
Oh, each child is unique, and I think every parent here will agree with me. Each child is unique. Me and my daughter, we are way different. Abby loves makeup. Both of them actually, I have two. They love makeup. She loves long nails. She loves very, very high heels. She's very, very expressive of herself. And yet she loves cooking. What can parents learn from this? In our daughters, we see an expression of ourselves. So for example, I taught, I've grown up and I've taught Abby to cook, but she has taken it a notch higher. She is a brilliant chef. She has taken it a notch higher. Now where I am right now, if I'm doing something, I call and I say, Abby, how do you marinate this chicken again? How do you put this and this together? And so our children, when we pour in them, they're able to run faster than us. I'm seeing Abby do the things that I'm doing, but in an even better way, in an excellent way.
Wow. So you're telling us that there are things that you have learned from your very own, older than her.
Yes, I have. My daughter Amelia, she's brilliant in technology. Children of these days are just, she's brilliant in technology. And so when I'm stuck in technology, I'm calling Amelia. Amelia, how do you fix this? How do you do this on the phone? How do you fix this on the computer? Our children, they have things when they pick from us, they learn and they can even run faster than us. And so you can't limit because of the generation that they're in. It's a generation where they learn, it's an information age. They pick what we know and they run faster and they're able to even do better than us. So yes.
Wow, wow. Let me ask you this also. So in your book, what gaps do you see between parents and children that your book invites us to bridge, the gaps there?
Oh, communication, talking to our children, parenting our children right. We are living in a very fast-moving world where we go to work because we have to go to work. We have to go and earn a living. We come back when we are tired. Maybe our children are in boarding and then we only have them during holidays. And so we tend to talk to our children less than the way we should. And yet we need to talk to our children. We need to find out the things that they know and whether the things that they know are correct, and also to be able to insert in them God device, because they're out there, they're constantly getting a lot of information, and not all the information they have is godly and is the right things and they're the right choices. And so my book allows a mother can read it, a parent can read it, a father can read it, and that it has different subjects inside there where a parent can use it with the child to discuss different topics, and you can use it to open up conversation, whether it is conversation about money, whether it's conversation about how do you see yourself, what is the value of who you are as a daughter, what is the true value of a woman. So it opens up a conversation that a parent can have with a child. It teaches a parent to be able to just look back and say, how have I loved my child? What can I do better? Have I really poured myself? Have I loved my child the way I should? So it opens the conversation.
Wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I noticed there's a statement that says change comes through brutal honesty and vulnerability. We see, we have had you tell your life's journey in a vulnerable way. Why all this that? Why do you put it that way?
Oh, first of all, Pastor Redson, I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like being vulnerable. It's hard to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means you open up yourself completely. But I had to write it in that way because we were raised in a generation, first of all, where parents don't make mistakes. Parents are always right. We do not make mistakes. If you're a child, you break a plate, you're beaten up. But if a parent breaks a plate, it's a mistake. But by being vulnerable, I was able to open up and openly talk to my daughter, to my children. And this opened them up. It made our conversation real. It helped them to understand that even me as a parent, I can make mistakes. I don't know everything. It allowed me to be able to say, I'm sorry, in this particular incident, this one, I didn't do it right. Now, by being able to say sorry, it helped me to make amends. In many areas where I needed to make amends with my daughter, it helped and opened that journey because I was real. And I was able to say, look, even me in my growing up, I didn't know this, I didn't know this, I didn't know this, and I don't want you to walk in this particular path and this particular journey because the consequences are this. When you're real, they realize, oh, our parents, they don't know everything. They're also human beings and they can make mistakes. And so it opens them up to be able to really talk to you and to express themselves. Wow. But it's not easy. Vulnerability, it's not an easy thing. Putting yourself out there.
Wow.
It's hard.
Now, we have so many young people in this platform right away who are listening to you, and others will listen to you on the YouTube. What one message can you leave to the young people in this platform and the rest of other people who will be listening to you?
To the young people, I will tell them, don't do life alone. Get a mentor. Get a mentor, get somebody who's older, who can speak into you, who can teach you, who will believe in you and help you to become a better version of who you are. With a mentor, you run a faster race, you make less mistakes, you'll become a better version of yourself. Get a mentor.
Get a mentor. He will make
Yeah.
you run faster. Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, that's to the young people. What about a message you can leave to the parents in this platform? What would you tell the parents? Me being one of them, by the way.
Oh, okay. To the parents, I would say, we have as parents, and you have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information that you can open up. Pastor Renson, open up to the young men. There are a lot of men out there, young men who need guidance from fathers, maybe who do not have fathers. Open up as parents, just open up to young people and speak to them about life, about the choices of life. Experience comes with age. Even the Bible says wisdom comes with age. And so as we speak into them and pour into them, we are helping to change and transform a generation. And so let us open up and talk to young people. Get a young person that you know that you can speak into their lives and transform them. You're changing a generation. There is a wealth of information. Let us not keep it within ourselves, but open up and speak to them and teach them.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
that is to the parents. There are those who are not parents, they're not young, the general people that are listening to you. What would you tell them? One message you tell them?
To the general people that I would say, we have a loving Father, and our God is a God of purpose, and our purpose is found in God. And so when you walk with him and you journey with him, he begins to reveal to you who you are. And our God desires us to run this race of life and achieve great things in life, and to live a better life. And this life that we have is not ours. He wants us to live it, to live our lives for his glory. And so I would say to everyone here that God is interested in you. God has a purpose for you, and your purpose is found in him. Trust in him. Allow him to guide you and lead you, because he has a plan for you. And the plan, when we talk about purpose, you can only find it in God as we walk with him, because he wants us to do exploits for his kingdom.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
Talking about God, I can't leave you to go without asking you this one question, because you've really mentioned God. And now, God is always working on us, even when we don't know. Has that been true to your life?
Oh, God is always working. He is always working. He's always working in the background. Always working. Since as Christians, we all know that God desires us to be transformed, to be Christ-like,
yes.
To be like him. So God is always working. I'll remember, for example, specifically in my walk with God, when you're praying to God and you're reading the Bible, and I desire the fruits of the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit. And one of them particularly was being patient with people. I'm a very particular person. I love doing my things in a particular way. And so I was praying to God, God, teach me patience, teach me to be patient with people. Since God brings people who will teach you to be patient. It's not going to send angels from up. And so during my life, I think there was a war in the north, and so I had to stay with my nephew and nieces, and these were grown-up young men and women, and I came to stay with. And we were staying with them in home, do their things in ways we would always be at loggerheads because of the way they were doing their things. And I would talk a lot, and I would always be correcting. And it reached a place I would get frustrated, and I would go back to God and say, God, how do I handle this? And along the way, one of the things I've learned is in circumstances of life, instead of complaining, you go back to God and say, God, what are you trying to teach me here? And so I went to God and I said, God, I've had enough. What are you trying to teach me here? After complaining, why? And 2 to 3 years down the road, I realized, first of all, God told me, you need to allow my children to grow in grace. And 2 to 3 years down the road, I just realized I am more patient because I had to let go of my specifics and just be able to bear with the different characters and personalities that I had in the home. And I learned patient, but I learned patient by being around people that were contrary and different to me. And so God is always changing us and working behind the scenes for us to become Christ-like.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Let me ask you before you go, where can we find your book?
Okay, here. So this is my book, Letters to My Daughter. You can find it right now. It's at Gaba Church. We have it. And that I'm working. It can be found online, but also you can contact me on my number 0702 411
Please repeat the number again. Repeat the number
0702 411 856. And you'll be able to, I will be able to tell you how you can access it. We are able to supply it using border borders. It is also found at mahiri.com. It's an online delivery.
Wow.
But also, as you call me, I can give you more information.
Can I repeat this number? 0702
Yes. 411
856.
856.
Is
Yes,
that the number? Okay. Anyone who would be interested to get that book, I think we can get in touch with you and be able to reach you.